I will say that I'll probably start asking questions when a kid out of high school signs a 7-year deal. And I'm like, wait, what?
Welcome to My God a Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this episode, John Powell and I review the 2025 season. We talk about the college football playoff, our thoughts on Georgia's season, and we answer questions from you, our listeners. As always, remember to check out the newly redesigned MyGottaPodcast.com to see our latest merch. And you can follow us on social media at MyGottaPodcast. Finally, if you need help with your website or your online presence, head over to workingwebmedia.com/dogs. Now, let's join the conversation in progress. And we're back.
And we're back. Thawed out and back. Well, sort of thawed out. Did you
Yeah,
survive? Did you survive Snowpocalypse 2026, Jim?
yes, but barely. So we are going on. Today was day 2 of no school. Tomorrow is virtual school. I will say, like with even like with so our house, just like the direction our house faces, our driveway has a hard time, especially like up by the house, of thawing out. So I did some shoveling on Monday around lunchtime in an attempt to clear everything and got a good bit of it out, got like tire tracks out for the cars to be able to leave. But it was wild. Like this morning, other stuff had melted everywhere, and like the sidewalk that runs through our driveway was an absolute just a sheet of ice. So it did melt and dry up today, thankfully. So
Hmm.
yeah, we
That's
got we got
good.
a we got
Well,
a decent amount of sleep.
it sounds like you fared better than those of us here in Marietta.
Hmm.
Because I feel like it was a giant nothing burger. Like we have a lot of people that are around us that are like, I thought this was supposed to be the apocalypse, the
Right,
way that it was being described.
right.
And I was too. I was a little nervous about it. I was like, where should I park the car? I kind of like you, like where I'm living is we've got a huge hill and it doesn't get a whole lot of sun, and so I was worried about the being iced in and not being able to get your car out kind of thing, even though
Yep.
the roads were clear kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, I opted to keep the car as a quasi generator close to the house. So
Hmm. That's a that's a good move. I kind of started to panic like last second because I was like, oh, it'll be fine. And then like the day before, I was like, Kim, are we prepared? And she's like, oh my gosh, like you're worried about this now? Like now is not the time
oh my
to
gosh,
start
are we
preparing.
prepared?
uh,
Should we
so
should we like get some stuff?
yeah, I mean we had food. Um, but yeah, I do think like I mean we haven't really had to go anywhere, so it hasn't been a big deal, but had I not
Right.
shoveled off the ice and sleet whatever on Monday, it would have been worse. So it just
Hmm.
takes forever in our driveway. Like our neighbors haven't on both sides of us. They didn't do any shoveling, and they both have like a huge sheet of ice. Um, so I don't know.
So you
We'll see.
feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I feel vindicated. I feel like I did not waste my time shoveling the ice off of our driveway on Monday. So there's at least that.
I saw a couple of memes. One was like Patrick Ewing on the sideline in the basketball, like with ice on his ankles and knees and everywhere. And it's like shout out to the dads that just are completely broken from shoveling snow
Oh my
for
god.
an entire day.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. We used to
And
we used to like pay neighborhood like teenagers and stuff. Like we had these kids the next street over from us. And they had their little business that they would do, and they would come and shovel. But now they're like in college, so those kids are gone. So
it
I
sounds
need to
like
find
there's a
some new kids.
void. It sounds like there's a void in the market, Jim.
There is. I'm not gonna fill it. I need someone else to fill it.
Oh man, I saw another one that was like you can go on Facebook Marketplace and find all these generators that are on sale now that everybody bought and can't
Mm,
use.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was one of my
Uh,
things. I made that. That was one of the comments I made. I was like, oh, like should we have a generator or something? And Kim was like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna be able to get one today. It was like Sunday. Uh,
Hey, it's the thought that counts, Jim.
That's right. That's right. I at least thought of it eventually.
We had some football played in the last few weeks since we last spoke.
We did. It didn't go the way yeah, just as we predicted. I think
I
if
mean, it
I
was
were,
pretty
it's pretty
much
close.
like I predicted with Indiana and Miami.
Yeah, I thought Ole
The
Miss was
game
going to
ended
beat
on a
Miami.
back-breaking Carson Beck interception.
Well, yeah, once we got to that game, it went pretty much how I thought it would go, honestly. Man, there were so many
Right.
tweets, like in the moment, even you can go back and there people were like, the back-breaking Carson Beck interception is forthcoming, like it's about to happen, like you can feel it
It's
about to happen.
coming.
Uh,
Wait for it.
yeah, I will say, like, I don't know. I think the last time we talked on the podcast, I was kind of on along the lines of like Indiana's just gonna kill everybody is kind of what I was thinking. And I will say, I mean, I think Miami kind of proved me wrong on that. Like that was a really good game. I will say that. Like as far as college football playoff championship games go, that was a pretty good one. It was actually tight and
Hmm.
down to the wire. I mean, it was fun to watch. Um, but at the same time, and I think I had said some things to you, and I think you had kind of pushed back on me. So I kind of want to get where your reaction is now. Like, I don't know. I guess I had kind of gotten over it. Like, oh, we lost Ole Miss, like whatever. Um, but now it does kind of feel like, man, like if Miami gave them that game, like what could we have done? It definitely feels like a bit of a missed opportunity this season, as far as the as
Agreed.
far as the college football playoff
Agreed.
goes.
I think, yeah, I think that it's a situation that, in my opinion, that we lost to the team that I feel like had the best, that was built the best to beat us. Um,
Yeah,
I think that we probably would have had some problems with components of those teams, but I mean, I still think that Georgia was built to run with both of those teams in the national championship. We're not exactly built to withstand these mobile quarterbacks the way
hmm
that Chambliss is. And so, I mean, just historically, like a mobile quarterback is going to have a higher likelihood of success against the way that Kirby Smart and our teams are built. Um,
yeah,
and that's not to say that like we can't stop mobile quarterbacks, but it's just to say that we tend to underperform when we are faced with mobile quarterbacks. These two guys, I would not classify them as mobile quarterbacks, even though they both got, had some success running the ball a little bit in the game, but those were mostly on like breakdowns. They weren't exactly like design runs or anything like that.
it's like the sneaky athletic plays.
Right, right. Um, but I would have loved to have seen what we could have done against those teams, against those two teams. It just wasn't meant to be. And
Yeah,
that's the way the cookie crumbles these days.
yeah. I think I don't know. I think the frustration on that for me goes back to and like whatever it is what it is. But like I still think they seeded it wrong, and I do think like job for Greg Sankey in the off season is to harp on that. Like how do you end up with an 11 or a 12-1 SEC champion is ranked below a 12-1 Big Ten runner up? So
Agreed.
I
100%.
that shouldn't happen. I had a feeling it was coming on Selection Sunday, but that doesn't mean it was right. I think they got the teams in it correct based on the format or whatever the guidelines they have. But that was actually my biggest seating issue. So um, I think there's that, and then the whole buy thing, and one and what is it now, 1-7, the teams of the buy. So I think there's definitely still room for improvement. I guess those will be my nitpicks, but even with all that, like we're not going to review the Sugar Bowl again, but we definitely had our chance, and we didn't. To use a Mark Richtism, we didn't finish the drill right at the end. So
We did not finish the drill. No, I think that last year we talked about how young the team was, and surprisingly, we ended up being even younger, I feel like, this season because
Yeah.
We had guys that were supposed to be stepping up into their, super senior status that ended up getting their jobs taken away by young guys. And so we had an entire season of, ups and downs of kind of figuring out where our offensive line stands, in terms of the rotation. I still have concerns there, which obviously, we haven't talked about it. Stacy, RIP. It's still not talking, I guess, in perpetuity at this point. We shall move on to our new offensive line overlords.
uh,
Um,
I
yeah,
mean, I
what's the
feel
guy's
like
name? Roush or something?
I feel like we need to need to take a bit of a moment here for this. We need to let this sink in.
Yeah, it's like a little, like a what do you call it? The bugler, the lone bugler or whatever. Burr, 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 burr,
um,
burr.
your relationship with Stacey Searles has come to an end.
Taps, is that what they call it? Taps?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's more than justified. I am a little bit skeptical of, inserting someone that was on the staff and they're basically swapping roles, which just, I don't know,
Mm.
feels weird, but hey, it worked really well for the defense when Muschamp was still there, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I will say though,
I just want to see
he
we've
has great
we've got
hair.
it. We've he does have great hair. He's got like some mullet action, right?
Yes.
It's probably the inspiration. Maybe a friend of the show, Tate Ratledge, got him on that hairdo.
Man, yeah. Apologies on YouTube that I don't have his picture up. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, we definitely. I do feel like we need a Scott Howard pronunciation guide here. Is what I'm assuming. Phil Rauscher. I'm assuming is
Rauscher, okay.
how you say that, but we'll have to
Rasher.
we'll have to put some glasses on it and confirm that in the offseason.
But yeah, so I mean, we have some young guys across the board, and we're returning a lot next season. We didn't lose very many guys to the portal, which I think is just insane in the modern college football these days to not lose hardly anybody to the portal. Um, we gained a few. We gained a few. Um, we
Sorry.
lost we lost a couple.
Yeah.
But I think that by and large those guys were pretty much expected. Um, I think only one of them I was kind of surprised about was the defensive lineman, but um, it is what it is. You're going to lose. It's annual free agency, so to bat 1,000 is probably never going to happen. But we lost not as many guys, and none of our stars, super starters, left. So I think it was a pretty positive offseason for or portal. Is that what we're calling it? Portal situation. And it's not, and apparently it's not even over because you can portal out at this point if you want to. And by
My
the way, if
gosh.
you're playing in the G League, you can come over and play basketball if you want to.
Oh my gosh. Save that for the basketball minute. So sorry, the basketball minute joke made me lose my train of thought. I agree. I think like the one surprise for me, and of course I'm saying this, and now I'm like blanking on his name, but we had a defensive back that left. I think he was number 24. I think that one was kind of surprising, but
Wasn't
um,
it Daniel Harris or
he did leave as well. But no, there was like a freshman that left.
uh-huh.
Um,
Aguero, didn't he leave? Or did he
Aguero
go into the
left.
portal?
Aguero did go into the portal. Um,
But he had kind of lost his job at that point, and like,
yeah, I mean
I guess
he was hurt
the
at the
formal
end, but
term is
like
is processed out.
right, right, yeah. I mean, I think yeah, he was hurt, but then um, I think the writing was kind of on the wall there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we lost.
What really like freaked me out during all of that, and that he's come out and
Bo
said like,
Hughley was the offensive lineman.
oh, that's right, that's right. Yeah, that was weird. Um, I got a little freaked out when there was all the like Nate Frazier, and Chauncey Bowens rumors flying around. Um, I was especially, I mean, this is how my mind works. I was, as far as I don't know, I guess I was equally concerned about both, but like Lily got a Chauncey Bowens jersey for Christmas, and I was like, bro, she gets the jersey for Christmas. Like that was like the big thing that my parents got her.
Dude,
Is like that's a thing we have to
well,
worry about now. It's like you get a
that
jersey,
is,
and they
yeah.
might transfer. Like what is going on?
Welcome to what it's like in the EPL, where you buy someone's jersey and then the next season they're gone, and you're like, what the heck? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, that's
Well,
or
isn't there
all those people that had Freddie Freeman jerseys for the Braves.
right, right? Well, there's a whole like jersey protection thing. I think now you can get like at least like in the pros, but I think those are more like you like the player, and so like if they get traded or go somewhere else, like you can change it to that team, I guess, or whatever. But like no offense, but I don't want your jersey when you go go to non-Georgia
Yeah,
kind of
seriously.
thing, Like I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not going to buy a LSU jersey for whoever's going over there.
yeah, yeah. So, mm. But yeah, I mean, I think overall, I think uh, I think like SEC wise, I think we lost less than most to the portal, which I think, obviously you want. Um, but we got that safety from Clemson, Khalil Barnes, a good one. A great a couple of guys going in the right direction in Isaiah Canyon coming from Georgia Tech as a wide receiver, and Amaris Williams, defensive lineman. Um, that could be big, by the way, of as far as like edge rushing goes. But going from Auburn to Georgia, so you go from Georgia Tech to Georgia and Auburn to Georgia. Those are great decisions. They're transferring for the right reasons, John.
Yeah, anybody that comes to Georgia is coming for the right reasons, and anybody that leaves is going for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, they're chasing that bag.
Yes,
Um, but
yes,
yeah, but then you had
we have nothing but pure heart.
that's right, that's right. But yeah, we definitely had the whole Dabo portal gate going on with Clemson and Ole Miss, so that's been the whole thing.
They, okay, so let's press pause and camp out on dogging on the portal situation. And
Okay.
frankly, I'm gonna lump in eligibility into all of it as well because we've got guys that are signed up for 8 years. They're about to go into their eighth year of college football. Like, what are we doing, Jim? Where does the insanity stop? Like, we've got guys that have stuck around for 8 years. We've got guys that are lobbying and getting injunctions for determining what their eligibility is that are clearly designed to just run the clock out.
Hmm.
They're basically Kirby death marching a decision, a final decision where you come to the point where you make a final decision and it's like, oh well, we just finished our season, sorry.
Right. Yeah. Um.
Um, it seems like you can get an injunction, and I joked in our chat earlier today that it just feels like at some point someone is going to make the argument that they are progressing towards a degree and enrolled in the university and thus are justified in being on a college football team.
Remember when we were getting made fun of because Stetson was old? Uh.
100%, dude. Like, I don't want to hear about any of these Stetson Bennett jokes ever again. And
Yeah.
Stetson's well, in their defense, I guess I should say Stetson should have had a degree. And a lot of these guys do have degrees, so there is that. But
Wait, hold on. But back to your prior point, Stetson could come back and still progress towards a degree, so we should just bring him back.
He was progressing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I said. And they completely avoided the JUCO years. So like technically he has a year of eligibility left.
Yeah, I definitely have questions on like how some of this stuff is adding up. Like the Miami guy is going for an eighth year. Like I saw some Instagram posts and it like broke down like why he can do that. And like the way it explained it, I was like, that's not how it works as far as I understand. So I don't know. I don't really understand what's going on. I guess we've kind of thrown some stuff out the window, but supposed to be you get 5 years to play 4 seasons, you can redshirt. You can redshirt twice if your first redshirt is due to medical reasons, and then you do that again. So you can get 2 redshirt years if you're injured twice. But that's the way it's always worked. Add in the COVID year, but at this point that should be gone. Like 2020 was a freebie for everyone; it didn't count. But like, I don't understand how some of these guys are still going. It's kind of weird, unless they were in JUCO first. But like that, the Miami guy, I don't think that was the case. So I don't know.
Mm.
Make it make sense.
Uh, yeah, make it make sense. It doesn't matter. All this does is hurt high school recruiting. Like we were talking about in the chat this morning, like
Mm,
increasingly like the high school recruiting seems to like it's mattering less and less because of the longevity of these players in the portal and the longevity of these players with their eligibility. And so like you can just rather than trying to recruit these kids out of high school and throwing millions of dollars at an unproven but clearly talented person,
mm.
um, or you can save your money and throw money at someone that's clearly created production at a higher level. So all this eligibility, all of this transferring and stuff, all it does is hurt the high school kids. And I think ultimately it's going to impact, the recruiting rankings and the recruiting and all that stuff because it's going to be much more difficult to scout these kids. And I think that coaches are going to care less and less about it.
Yeah, you're. I was thinking back to when we had Andrew Carraway on last offseason and what he was talking about then at around high school recruiting and everything. And I feel like it's gone to another level this go around. Um, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, seriously. Like there's almost an argument to be made for someone to go and ball out at a JUCO school because the years at JUCO don't count. You can get your credits towards graduation or whatever
Hmm.
and transfer to a school that's willing to pay you because you've done your production and suddenly you have 4 years of eligibility because the JUCO years doesn't count.
Dude, that's actually really interesting. It used to be I'm gonna go play college football to get the big paycheck in the NFL. That may you may be onto something. I'm gonna go to JUCO so I can showcase myself, develop, and get the big payday for 4 years of college, and then maybe I go to the NFL.
Hmm.
On top of that, but
Yeah, I
and you
mean
get
if
and we
if you
saw it
can't
with
get
Indiana what these older guys are able to do.
I mean if you're a person like I don't know, like a Brock Bowers or a Jordan Davis that is not like, I mean, those guys didn't come out of high school as obviously heralded recruits. I think Brock was like, what, a 4 star or something like that? But which is obviously still like pretty good, but like it wasn't like he was
Yeah,
screaming at the top of the recruiting rankings, the top 100, players or whatever,
yeah.
or top 50 players. And we all know Jordan Davis's story. So like maybe players like that clearly that would believe in themselves would make a decision to go and take a run at a JUCO and then come with some production to a team like Indiana where the coaches clearly values production over all else.
Hmm.
It
Yeah,
could be a path for a lot of guys.
yeah. No, I think you may
And
be onto
frankly,
something.
and frankly, like here's you want me to go take it a step farther, Jim?
I do.
So what if there's a world and we used to have this. You remember the Mark Richt years when we had Georgia Military College and Hargrave
Mm,
Military College
hmm. Yeah.
where that was if you didn't if you had problems or whatever, like that was like your mulligan. Like go and get
Mm,
right at Hargrave, go and get right at GMC, and then you come and enroll at Georgia. And instead of having 3 or 2 years to play, now all of a sudden you've got 4 years to play. So if you're a team like Georgia, develop these relationships with these JUCO colleges and say, hey, like we want you, but we want to see what you can do. Here's a pathway to do that.
mm.
And
Yep.
you basically have a minor league system for college football.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, with the money that's getting paid out in college right now, it's not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah. But the portal, like everything about this, like you and I have had this conversation, like as fans, I feel myself being less caring less about the sport that I used to be completely rabid and passionate for, which
Yeah.
could be our age, but also like just this whole situation is just off-putting. Like you can't, like you were talking about, like I mean, Lily's got she's got her jersey, and had that happened where he left, imagine how disenfranchising that is for her, right?
Dude,
Like you're talking
and
about an entire generation of,
yeah. No, I like I didn't say anything about it either. Like, and I know she was well aware of the Nate Frazier rumors because those were all over Instagram. I feel like the Bowen stuff wasn't talked about quite as much, but it was out there. And like I remember, like
right.
I told her after they had that came out. I mean, and, who knows? But like these are the things we're reading online. Like they both signed their new deals or whatever. And so I told her that,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Wait, Bowen's too?" And she's like, "What?" She's like, I got his jersey for Christmas. Like, so yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I
Yeah.
mean, like that. I mean, seriously, like I don't know what that would have done to her fandom. I can't.
I
I'm not
mean,
sure.
and that's the reality of where we're at right now is that you've got a huge swath of fans that are completely turned off by all of this. There's a
Yeah.
whole subset of like casuals out there that just loathe the way that it was before. It was like, ah, they're not they don't care about school. They're just there to play for a couple of years and then go to the NFL. Well, now they're there for 8 years and all they care about is playing for NFL money because they're making these kids are making more money than they do in the NFL. That was another thing that came out was like the average age of the NFL teams was pretty much on par with the average age of Indiana's roster,
Yeah.
and the average salary for NFL first year, second year guys is less than what they're making in college.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. I
And
don't. Uh.
it's just not as it's not as appealing. It's not as appealing as it once was. And I'm damn sure, like, sorry, Ratty, I'm damn sure not following recruiting as much as I was before, which even the last 3 years was probably next to nothing.
Yeah.
We got a commitment, sweet. Now it's like, oh, we got a commitment, awesome. Let me know when they actually enroll and actually like take a snap.
Yeah. Let me know when they enroll and don't go into the portal immediately. Because apparently, as we learned at
Yeah, yeah.
Clemson,
You it's not
enrolling and going to class is not enough.
exactly. I almost caught myself. I was like, well, hang on, maybe we need to just upgrade that to let me know when they take a snap.
Let me know when he steps on the
I mean,
field with a power
that's
G.
that's insane. That's insane.
It
And I
really
know
is
that we had a
crazy.
little banter about this morning, but like you renegotiated your deal, whether or not you signed it or not, or whatever, like verbal agreements, I don't know, whatever. Uh, and at the 11th hour, another team comes in and is trying to get you to, go away. And you show your coaches or tell your coaches you got evidence of all this tampering, and they're like, oh, but if you match what they're offering me, then I'll stay. And then the coaches are like, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, and that kid had already transferred once this offseason.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I can't remember where he went from. I
Yeah,
think he
he
was at
transferred
Cal.
to Clemson.
Cal to Clemson in
Yeah.
this portal, enrolls in class, goes back in the portal after being tampered with, and goes to Ole Miss. Like, if everything Dabo says is true, but man, I and I know, like, sorry, Hunter, I know we've been talking about this, but like, when Dabo brought receipts to the press conference and like had it all written down and was like naming names, I was like, whoa, like this is crazy. But I mean, everyone's been complaining and not naming names and just these like empty complaints. So I know a lot of people don't like Dabo, but like I I loved it. Like I mean, nothing's gonna change if everyone's just complaining about tampering, but it's kind of like weak complaints, like, oh, you know, this is bad, but not really doing anything about it. I mean, he brought receipts, he named names, and I think unless people like nothing's gonna change unless you know like
There has to be a de-incentivization of
yeah
behavior.
yeah
And you got guys like Duke and their quarterback Menza or whatever his name is.
yeah yeah
Um, they apparently came to an agreement, which I hope involves Duke receiving compensation for their trouble in that regard. You got Damon Wilson and Georgia still duking it out in court, apparently,
yeah
because we haven't seen a resolution there. You've got what Washington's quarterback that they kind of said that we expect you to honor your agreement as well. Like, hold
yeah
these kids accountable, and we're very quickly approaching like I don't know how you I don't know how it translates. Like they're not employees. Like I guess they're
yeah
your I-9 or whatever. Like they're contract employees kind of thing.
yeah. I don't know.
Bring on the contracts, bring on
Yeah
the terms, bring on the severance agreements, hold everybody accountable, period.
yeah yeah. I'm with you. Um, I don't know. I wanted to talk about the CFP changes. You want to hit that briefly, or do you have more to say on that
I
topic?
don't know. We just went into a whole diatribe about how it makes no sense, like for high schoolers or whatever. I will say that I'll probably start asking questions when a kid out of high school signs a 7-year deal. And I'm like, wait, what?
uh, I like it. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, my thing I wanted to say about the playoff, was so the changes are all around for next year, staying at 12 teams. So it's still 12 team playoff, still um first round bye for the top four, all that stuff. Like where the games are played, are still nothing changed. But what changed is like there are now actual auto like deemed auto bids. So before it was the five highest ranked conference champions. Now it is the conference champion of each Power Four conference gets an auto bid. Period. And then the highest ranked group of, I think it's group of six now, because I think Pac-12 is kind of back, but it's a group of six. The highest ranked champion from those gets in. And the last thing is, if Notre Dame is ranked in the top 12, they get in. So if you change, if you apply all of that to this past season, here's what that would have done.
Chaos.
So Duke makes it in because they're the ACC champion. That's an auto bid. So now Duke is in. Um, I
Crazy.
think only Tulane gets in, not JMU, because Tulane was ranked higher than JMU. So JMU's out. Tulane stays in. Duke is in. Notre Dame has to be in because they were ranked in the top 12. So what that would have meant is that even though the committee seeded Miami higher than Notre Dame would have gotten in and Miami left out in this current season. So we can't leave the playoff alone. We have to tweak it every season. And now next year, if you apply next year's rules to this past season, one of the teams that made it the championship would not have even made the playoff. Um, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Which just seems crazy. Like at some point we gotta stop. At some point you gotta stop. Um, do you remember there being this much squirreling of things when we had the BCS? Like,
I saw something about that. There were like some changes. It was like with the formula. So like they would tweak the formula, like which computers were included, like weighting on certain things. I think like they changed, and like I think at one point didn't the AP poll say like we're like don't use us for the BCS anymore or something? Like I think a poll like withdrew itself from the formula. So there was some stuff like that, but this is, and like the four team was fairly stable for the years that it ran. And now we're 2 years in. We're heading into year three of the 12 team. uh, college football playoff, and it's going to be the criteria have changed every year. They've changed something about it every year. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, it seems a little crazy.
Yeah, I do feel like maybe at some point can we just kind of stick with something and just see what happens if we do the
Yeah,
same thing 2 years in a row? Can we get some more data?
yeah. If we're in a situation where a conference champion suddenly is in the playoff versus not in the playoff, to me that's a little drastic. And frankly, like I think this year's rules, like this year's version of the rules, probably protects uh a situation like what happened this year, where
Yeah.
not every year the conference champion is going to be a clear-cut contender.
Yep.
Um, that's just the nature of that's just the grind of an SEC schedule, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I will say
it-
I
it's it's
still
all it's all it's all a mess. It's still all a mess. I think that they got to fix the seating. They got to fix the home and away situation where, the reward for winning the SEC championship is actually playing at home as opposed to playing on a neutral site game after having a month off or whatever.
yeah.
To me, that just seems insane.
Yeah. I agree. Um totally. Totally.
There is enough data to change that.
Ye- Yeah, I think yeah, 1-8 teams that get a bye going 1-8 uh seems that I don't know, that's not insignificant to me.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, cool. Well, that's what I had. Those are the things I had jotted down. Um, we can hit the listener questions unless you have more.
it's been it's it's been an interesting season, Jim.
Actually, before we hit the listener questions, let me ask you this: how do you, as you reflect on this season, like what do you what do you think? I mean, SEC champion, quarterfinalist, but didn't win, advance to the quarterfinals, but didn't win a game in the playoff.
How do I feel about the team, Georgia in general, as
Well,
to
I know,
where we
like,
stand today, kind of thing?
I mean, I guess I know I said, like we said, kind of a missed opportunity, but I guess it's almost around like how do you define now in like today's day and age, like is it was it a successful season?
A successful season.
You know?
I mean, we made the playoff. We had our opportunity to advance. We had our opportunity to step on the throat of an inferior opponent that we had beaten earlier in the season. Um, so I will classify this as a missed opportunity.
Hmm.
What might have been type season,
Yeah,
not too dissimilar to last season, where, maybe if Carson Beck didn't get hurt, things might turn out a little better. We had our first quarterback start in the bowl game, all the situation that bowl game had last year.
yeah,
So it just kind of feels a little like, we had all these superstar recruiting classes in 24 and 25, and we haven't been able to we haven't been able to replicate what we had in 21 and 22. Not that that should be the annual goal, as Will likes to comment on waiting since last Saturday. Like, if your goal is to win the national championship every year, like you're going to be highly disappointed because it's infinitely more difficult to win the national championship now, in this day and age. So
yeah,
you won the SEC, which in order to get into the playoff is one of those hurdles is winning the SEC. So, um, I still think that based on data and uh, our personal experiences, that third place in the SEC might be the best in the house, but
dude. I think
um,
that I feel like
you
that needs
can't
to be
sit
the
here and
goal
say.
next year.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but at the same time, we won a trophy, and there's
Yeah,
a whole
yeah.
lot of teams out there that didn't win one,
No, I agree with you. I agree.
including Miami.
Yeah, well, when you when you went into last season and Beck getting hurt, all I could hear was Chris Fowler talking about how much he's been through. Oh my gosh, I'm glad we don't have to hear about that from Chris Fowler anymore. I don't know why he just like absolutely latched onto that. It got to the point where it was like weird. Like I have people like that I work with that aren't like huge college football fans, but were watching the game, like texted me like, "What is Chris Fowler talking about?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, don't get me started." uh,
Bro, that whole situation is definitely another component. Dude, I'm telling you, man, whoever Carson Beck's PR team is must be the same PR team that Lane Kiffin had before he decided to blow himself up at another SEC school.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I would say it was a successful season, Jim. I mean, what
yeah.
what what would you say?
No, I say it's success. I think I I think that it will be a sad day when we consider an SEC championship season not to be a success. I think that would be a sad day. Um, I mean, I think like it has to mean something. I feel like, and honestly too, I don't. I'm not super confident about how much longer that game's going to be around. Um, I could definitely see a world where there is an SEC champion, but that champion is crowned based on regular season record and
Regular season
tiebreakers
record, yeah.
and tiebreakers. Would there even be tiebreakers, or would you just have shared SEC championships? I could see that. I just, like I don't
The
know.
worst.
I say that, but I don't. The only reason I back away from that is what we always talk about. Like when the question is why, the answer is money. Like why would you keep that game going? Money. And so I don't know. That game may be worth enough that it won't go away.
I
I think that's the only
I
one that's going
like
to save
this
it because
scenario.
competitively, I don't think that game makes sense anymore for the SEC.
So I like the scenario that Josh Pate put
Hmm.
out where the
Yeah,
conference championships are play-ins to the college football playoff.
yeah. His the other thing he added was that like if you don't make a conference championship game and you are being considered for the playoff, you have to play a game that week. His idea is
Right.
actually that the bowl games are played that week. So like your Citrus Bowl, your Pop
Right.
Tart Bowl, they move to conference championship weekend, and so you're either in a conference
Right.
championship game or you're in a bowl game. That I actually really like that idea.
Yeah, I think that scenario makes a lot of sense. I hate the fact that it means that the Thanksgiving tradition of Georgia Tech goes away and you have the other Thanksgiving traditions. However, having those traditions matter makes it worth moving and making the SEC championship and making these bowl games matter, I think is a good trade-off for having to upend some different traditions and things like that. Because basically, I think what he was saying was you move everything to week zero, like there's no
Yeah.
more week zero kind of thing, and that's
Yep.
that's how you make up the time.
It is. Yeah. And his, I think his model basically gets you to the national championship is on New Year's Day, I think, or maybe it's like the week after or whatever. Maybe it's still semifinal. It at least gets the semifinals up to New Year's Day.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's crazy. Like, if isn't it next year the national championship would have been on the 25th or 26th or something like that?
Yeah, it's even later. It's too long. And again, I feel like I feel like the casual fan got fatigue, honestly. Like I watched it, you watched it, but but we host a college football podcast, like a Georgia podcast. Like we're like all in. Like I don't I think a lot of people, I don't know. I guess the ratings would say otherwise, at least for the championship game. I think the championship game did good numbers on TV, but like shoot, man, when I got the semifinal week, it was like, oh, there's a
Well,
game tonight? Like we were like, what is going on? Like I
it
don't know.
was it was a compelling matchup. I think that it kind of extending things out. Like right now, we're currently in like no man's land for sports viewing. Like there's nothing on TV right now.
We had Georgia basketball tomorrow night. That's why I wanted to record tonight. Uh,
Right, right. No man's land for football. Like the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Super Bowl set, uh, all the stuff. Like there's just only a handful of things that are going on. It's like,
yeah, yep,
but
yeah,
I think that you got to make some changes to where making the SEC championship matters, winning the SEC championship matters. There's a requisite reward for winning the SEC championship. Like, if we're gonna say that the playoff is better because it's a playoff and everybody has a chance to win, like, okay, then don't water down the conference championship. If we water down the conference championship just because we want a playoff, then the playoff is dead, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. All right. Well, let's hit the listener questions. We can head on over to those. As always, even in the season review, listener questions are brought to you by Working Web Media. They helped us update our website last off season, a couple off seasons ago. Got some new stuff actually, I think, cooking that we're gonna try to get added over the. I started to say over the summer. I guess that's kind of right. Whatever over the off season. So be on the lookout there. You can always head over to workingwebmedia.com/dogs if you want to work with them, and they will know that we sent you their way. All right, let's kick it off with the building bonus. TM from Brett Building. First question: why do you think next season will be better than this season for Georgia?
Our youth is going to be more mature,
Agreed. And
and Stacy Searles is no longer in charge of the offensive line.
of course. Um, I was going to hone in on a specific item of youth and growth there, and that's going to be Gunnar Stockton. So this was year one being a starter for Gunnar. So, I look for some improvement from him from year one to year two. I think he had a really good year as a first year starter. He was in the top 10 voting for the Heisman, had some amazing moments. I think when you go and look at the tape, you can see some like reads and open receivers that he missed. And, I look for some development there and, hopefully he's coming back and letting it rip next year. So I think that's going to be a big thing as well. Okay. Second question: who will be the MVPs on offense,
I
defense,
can I can get
and
down with that.
nice? Who will be the MVPs on offense, defense, and special teams next year?
I think special teams, payday is still around, right?
Uh, yes, yes. Sorry, yes, he is back. He is running it back, as they say.
All right, so we got payday covered. So I think special teams is going to end up being payday.
I
Um,
agree.
I'm trying to think who on offense. I'm gonna have to go with Gunnar Stockton on that one.
Okay, I
I
will
think I
go.
think our team.
Oh, good.
I was gonna say I think our team is gonna live and die on Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah. I also think it's Gunner. I'm going to give an honorable mention to Nate Frazier. I feel like that was
Yeah, Nate Frazier would be
it was
my
a
second.
huge blow to our chances in the Sugar Bowl when he had to come out on that last drive. So I'm going to give honorable mention to Nate Frazier.
Agreed. Defense though,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Ellis Robinson.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Um, hmm. I'll stick with the secondary and go KJ Bolden.
Ooh.
I
I
am
like
gonna
it because the secondary was not so great for us this season. That was one of
yeah,
the weak spots, and we immediately went out, and that was the first portal edition was in the secondary. So
yeah, yeah. Agreed. All right, we got those covered. Bonus from Brett. Three. Remember that time we held Alabama to -3 rushing yards? Mm, that was amazing.
that, that was pretty amazing.
See,
Oh man,
more proof this you have to consider this season a success. -3 rushing yards,
agreed.
SEC championship game. Whew, what a time to be alive.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, proving that questions can be asked via any method because these were entered to me verbally this evening from Lily when she found out we were recording. Her first, she has two things. The first one was just a comment, and I don't know that we ever talked about this. She said, "I am thankful that Andrew Smart discovered Zachariah Branch." Did you ever hear that commentary?
Uh-uh.
So Kirby made a comment that like when Branch went into the portal, Andrew Smart like alerted Kirby to this. Like, hey, have you heard about this Zachariah Branch guy that's in the portal? Like, you need to go check him out.
Amazing. He's like he's he's just he's just waving to his dad right now. Like oh
Uh,
man, that is pretty awesome. Maybe we need to send Andrew Smart out on the recruiting trail.
maybe we do. Maybe we do. Next time I see him on the way to a game, we'll have to bring that up.
Yeah, seriously. Like go ahead and send that boy to recruit some wide receivers.
I have also on that note, I've seen I mean I think we think of Andrew as his like baseball prowess, but I think I saw a reel or something of him throwing a football. So I don't know, may be getting into some quarterbacking coming up for him.
He looks like he can sling it.
Yeah.
But I need him to upgrade his competition from the Athens area private schools
Okay. 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 Got it.
because that
Okay,
has not
Lily's.
panned out well for us.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Okay. Yes. Yes. Um, her second item was a question. It is, will Lily be on the podcast again next season? Um, and she told
Can
me that
confirm.
her answer, if she's answering the question, is if she's invited. That was her answer. Um, but it's pretty funny.
Ooh.
She definitely she got a huge kick out of the feedback. Like when David Lee said that she speaks better than I do. I think that was her favorite piece of feedback. But also, I know a couple people said stuff to her at the tailgate, so definitely appreciated that, and she got a lot of kick out of it. So thanks for all who did
She did a great job.
that. Okay.
She needs to go be a guest on Girls Talk Ball.
Bro, yeah, I don't know. Like, is she gonna try? Is she gonna try to like strong arm us on like an NIL deal or something? Like, what's going on?
She's entered the portal. Lilywood has entered the portal.
Oh
Cue
man.
up the noise, Jim.
Uh, so good. So yeah, yeah. Oh, uh, I'm being slow, and John Michael D is laughing about it. But there we go. Oh man,
Lilywood is at the portal.
too good. All right. Next up, we've got friend of the show, Tim Riley. First question. He's got three. First question: what was the best home game y'all attended this season?
All of
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that. I love it.
them.
We only get so
I
many of
mean,
these a year.
we only get so many a year, so it's all of them. I think the one where Walter and everybody came, like, which game was that for? Was that Alabama? I can't remember. Or Texas?
Oh man, yeah. Which game was that? It wasn't Alabama because Kim was at that game. Um, must have been Ole Miss. Was it Ole Miss
Ole Miss?
or was it Kentucky?
I can't remember. I I have
That
the
was
worst
fun though.
memory. I could go back and look at my photo reel and correlate the time, but I did not do that before the podcast. But that one was pretty cool, seeing everybody,
That was fun.
all the fraternity brothers. So that was cool.
That was cool. So I actually looked at this in a different way. This is going to be a weird answer. This is not my actual answer. But if you define best game as like the actual best played game, like the closest game was actually Alabama. Isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was a really good game. I do try to like not lose sight of a game being a great game, even if you lose it. That was a really good game. Um, but I think I've got to go with Ole Miss. So um,
Yeah.
for myself, I would say Texas second. Texas was awesome, but um, man, especially the onside kick, that was incredible. But I'm gonna go Ole Miss.
Outside of outside of the adult in me talking about the adult experience, as a dad, taking Caroline to the game that I went to with her was just me and her was also pretty fun. I want to say that was Charlotte, the
Yeah,
Charlotte
yeah, yeah,
game.
yeah,
So
yeah,
as a dad,
yeah,
that was pretty fun for me.
yeah. That was a fun weekend. That was a fun weekend. The funny thing there too is the on the inverse, that was like Kim and I actually just went with and didn't bring a kid, which was rare. Our kids stayed here, which we like never do. So we had the very inverse that weekend.
It's
Um,
funny.
okay, so second question from Tim. For this coming season, what home game are you most looking forward to and why? And now I should have like had up the schedule. So home games this coming season, we have Tennessee State, Western Kentucky, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, Auburn, Missouri, Georgia Tech. I have multiple things running through my head. Um, so I'm gonna say
I mean, the Oklahoma game's got to be kind of earmarked there because isn't that the first time they're coming to campus?
that is a great question. I don't know if we've ever. I think so. Um, we'll certainly have Hasty's Hargrave history as we approach. But I believe so. I mean, in the SEC, yes. I don't know that they've ever come to Athens.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I would say that the Sooners at home is probably going to be an interesting one because that will be opportunity for us to play an opponent that we haven't played at home, I believe. Uh, we'll have to check the history on that one.
okay,
Um,
I can confirm the only time we've ever played them was that Rose Bowl.
yeah.
So,
So that'll be fun. It'll be very similar to the Texas folks coming into town. So I imagine that that will be a pretty heavily attended game for both fan bases. I think isn't John Mateer will be back for the Sooners, so
hmm
they should have their Heisman or at least early season Heisman candidate. John Mateer will be back for that game. Um,
nice clarification there.
Auburn at home is fun. I mean, I'm just saying we could black it out. I'm just saying. I don't know. It c- if only we had something to be traditional about. And then obviously the Gators coming to Atlanta
That's true.
is also going to be interesting. So I don't know if that doesn't count as I don't know if we're home team or away team on that one, but that's technically a home game for us because they're at the Benz.
Fair enough. I'll give some honorable mentions. I always love a Tech game at home, and I believe this one will be on Saturday again, unless they change it. Um, the only other one I was going to throw in there is Vanderbilt and Jared Curtis. Like, will he be there? Will he be their starting quarterback?
And
So that's another sneaky one there. Okay. Um, Final question from friend of the show, Tim Riley, and we can convert this maybe into the basketball minute for Fletcher as well. Will the Hoop Dogs make the dance?
they fell out of the top 25.
Fell top 25 had a pretty brutal loss to Texas, where had a 7 point halftime lead and got outscored like 50 something to 30 in the second half. Texas could not miss. So I don't know. That would kind of is what it is. That stunk. Um, yes, I think they will make the dance. I think they will make the dance. I think this team is better than the team last year. That doesn't really mean anything. It's a different season, but I mean, the start that they're off to is like historic as far as Georgia basketball goes. It's one of the better starts in team history. I do think they'll, protect home court. Got to keep playing well at home. Got a big home game tomorrow night as we're recording on Tuesday. Wednesday night at home at the Steg against Tennessee. Um, but that loss to Texas, like Texas was favored, by the way. Like Vegas, it did not expect us to win that game. But yeah, protect the home court. Steal a couple on the road. Um, you know, get one that you weren't supposed to win here and there, and win the ones you're supposed to. I think they'll be in the dance.
Yeah, I like that Arkansas away win.
Yeah, that, and then the win at Missouri was really big. In a game where you have a lead, you lose it. You got crazy ending with buzzer beater stuff going on and everything, and to hang on and win that game at Missouri on the road was big. That was big too.
Yeah, and those are
But
those are top 25 teams right now.
yeah. And by the way, the game was that Tennessee game was supposed to be tonight and was moved to tomorrow due to Snowmageddon. Um, and I don't know if that was kind of
Mm.
on the Tennessee side because I know Tennessee they actually got the ice storm, from my understanding. That like
They did, yeah.
yeah, so I'm assuming it's difficult for them to travel. All
Yeah.
right, hopefully we did the basketball
I
minute
think they'll be on
justice.
the dance.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I think so too, dude. It's they're fun to watch. We're gonna get a boost because some of the recent struggles in the games we've struggled in were because Keeling turned the game on and was watching, and he actually went to the Texas game. He has told me that he is done with Georgia basketball for the season. He's pulling like a Josh. He's like, not watch anymore.
Yes. Stop watching, Keeling. All your fault.
Uh, all right. One more. Uh, we got one more set of listener questions.
Fireball.
From the
I
Hook
played
Dog.
this song. I played this song in the car the other day, and Cameron was like, "Dad, what is this song?" I was like, "It's Jason Huggins' song. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?" She goes,
Amazing.
"What?"
Uh, that's incredible. Um, okay, he's got like a batch, we'll say. First question: what will you remember the most from the 2025 season?
The tailgates and going to the games with my kids.
Yes, yes, I would agree with that. 100%. Um, yeah, you miss it, man. You miss it when it's in the off season, and then there's so much build up, and it's so great to see everyone during the season. For sure.
Yes, and you're like, when it comes to an end, you're like, no more tailgates.
No more tailgates, no more hanging out. No more
Yeah.
bean dip. I haven't had bean dip in weeks, JP.
If only there was a recipe that you could make it.
That was one of
Not
our
the same.
it was one of
Tastes
our steps
better.
to try and be healthier. It's like, well, college football's over, so like stop eating bean dip every weekend.
I think everybody's on the health kick, right? I've been eating a lot of lentils myself.
Yeah. Um, I'll say there was a lot continuing with the off the field. There was a lot of like off the field cool moments, like too. I mean, you like Sugar Bowl, you and Carter like meeting the whole team and everything.
Yeah,
Um,
that was fun.
you got that. Lily and I went to the Gunnar Stockton signing that first weekend. That was pretty cool. Um, so yeah. I think that, and I will say too, I do still think I think on the field, I think it's Gunnar getting to have, you know, I don't know, some of those moments. The dive to beat Auburn, to seal it, the kneel to seal the Florida win is pretty sweet.
The London Humphreys catch at Tennessee,
Ooh, yeah. 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 So I don't know.
which if I wonder if we lose that game, do we end up third place in the SEC? I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Um, I guess I would say, like, kind of on that note of those things we're just hitting, it would like I mean, I guess the slogan, whatever you want to call it, like, the Kirby gave, like the hard to kill. Like, that's what I'm going to
Hard to
remember about this.
kill.
That's what I'm going to remember about this team. I mean, they never gave up. They never gave up. Shoot, even in the
Yeah.
Sugar Bowl, man, they never gave up. So,
Yeah. We were in it all the way to the end.
yep. Okay. Second one, any departing seniors earn DGD status? I mean,
Hmm.
I think Delpa brother out.
Yeah. Delp. I would say Thorson, the Booming Onion.
Mm, absolutely a
I
DGD.
would say the officially unofficial wide receiver of My God a Podcast retiring.
Yep. Yep. Dylan Bell. Agreed.
Dylan Bell, who seems to be balling out, and was it the Shrine Bowl, which I
Yeah,
think is going on tonight, actually. Which
East West Shrine Bowl has Dylan Bell's in it, Noah Thomas is in it, and Colby Young. All three of them. They're all in that game.
yeah, I would say in the world of all the transfers and all that kind of stuff, you got Colby Young and Noah Thomas coming in. Like,
Yeah.
do they earn damn good dog status?
What about Branch? I know his question did say senior,
Zachariah Branch.
and I think Branch was a junior, but what, dude? What a season! What a
I would
season
say
he had.
Branch absolutely. I would say most of those guys, Colby Young, which by the way, Colby Young earns damn good dog status in Carter's heart because
Mm,
when we were at the team hotel, he was one of the first ones that started high-fiving people. Like he was very much involved and like made a point to like go to the fans and stuff. So
yeah,
shout out Colby Young. Um, but yeah, dude, Zachariah Branch, like all those guys.
yeah.
Absolutely. There's definitely some damn good dog status. There's also some that have gotten lost because they transferred away. So
Yeah, agreed. I would add
I
Kristen
see it.
Miller and Dalen Everett from the
Hmm.
defense. I want to make sure to include those guys. Those are the main ones. I probably dole out the DGD like a lot. I know some people like not everyone is a DGD kind of thing. But I don't
They
know.
didn't
I kind of
graduate.
right. I tend to just say it.
Yeah.
uh, unless you transfer. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
Unless you
Or I guess,
transfer, then you're dead to me.
or I guess I do make that rule. But yeah. Um, So the third one we kind of talked about this earlier, but I want to answer it or I want to just state that I'll ask a question. Has NIL era dampened your enthusiasm for college football? My answer is no. It's to me it's not the NIL era by itself. And maybe it's just this era and you want to call it the NIL era, then the answer is yes. But I just want to make it clear that to me it's not the NIL so much, it's the NIL plus portal plus conference expansion slash realignment slash playoff expansion all happening at the exact same time. Like it was too much. It's too much to handle at once, and it has thrown just everything into chaos, which kind of sent us down our rabbit hole earlier. So to me, it's all of those things compounded on top of each other.
Yeah. I mean, I think we got to come up with a better name for what this current like specifically honing in on NIL. It's not NIL anymore because in my opinion, like we went from NIL to like players just straight up being paid.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
NIL was originally like let's let the players like make some money off of their name, their image, and if they're like a YouTube star or something like that going into college, like let them make some money on the side, do some sponsorships or whatever. But now we're literally talking about universities cutting checks. Um,
yeah,
I think we've gotten a little too far over our skis for what the vision for what that was is has kind of blown up. And I guess it's just like everything else, money corrupts. Um, and it's just kind of like a disease has just kind of gotten worse and worse and worse. Um, with no end in sight on the money bag front.
yeah,
But yeah, to your point, like the transferring and all that stuff, I think that is the component that is really throwing gasoline because I can handle kids like going and taking bags if they actually stay at their school. You got players like, you know, they're literally like transferring to schools and then before they enroll, like transferring back. You just
yeah,
went and made your money on enrolling in a school and then leaving the next day. To me, that kind of stuff just has to stop. That we can't have this every year. There's a reason the NFL doesn't do this. Like every year is not free agency for every player. And that to me it's just
yeah,
it's not sustainable long term. So yeah, and in that regard, I would say it dampens my excitement for the games. My enthusiasm for college football, I don't think will ever die because of all the things we talked about before, where, you got only so many games you can go to Athens and tailgate. There's only so much that you can do with your kids and stuff like that with centered around these games and these seasons. So
Yeah. Yep. No, I totally agree with you. Agreed.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Next one. When do you begin your preseason prep for the upcoming season?
No days off, Jason. No
Yeah.
days off.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm somewhere in between. I'm somewhere in between two jokes. Like, one, there is no off season. Two, we just talked about how we're not as enthused about it anymore. So maybe a little bit later than we used to.
We definitely we definitely are as regimented about the Huggins family, I'm sure.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. I don't
And
know.
and and everybody else at Morris Hall, like their preparation is very different.
Yeah, I do feel like for me, I will say, like, kind of like coming out of Fourth of July is when I start to kind of. That's when the juices kind of start flowing for me, big time. For the next season, like we see a lot of Georgia fans down at the beach Fourth of July, and so we always kind of like have a moment when you're on the beach and start talking through like what what are you thinking, all that kind of stuff, and that kind of gets it going for me. So I know that's usually a bit of a turning point personally, it just for like mentally.
Yeah.
And then I like this
I would
one.
say G Day is that
Ooh,
is that time period for me. Like G Day,
that's fair.
G Day is the most underrated date on the UGA football calendar.
Mm, mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. We made it down last year. We have to figure out if we're able to come for G Day this year. Hopefully, we do.
I don't know. It said that it was going to be a mid-April, which I think that does that mean that we could be up against the Masters again? Could we have another Masters G Day?
Mm, good question. Possibly. Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet.
I don't have they set the date yet
I was
for G
checking,
Day?
like, yeah, I don't know. Does that show up on the 26th schedule when they schedule it? Because it's not on there right now. I don't know. I think it will, yeah, because I'm looking at the 25 schedule and it has last year's G Day on there. So I'm assuming it hasn't been officially announced yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's been. It doesn't look like it's been announced because I'm looking at some. It just says April, which
Okay.
depending on when could be a conflict on the Masters there.
Well, I appreciate you.
Trying to put glasses on it.
That's that was helpful. Okay, last question from Jason. Interest in a basketball or baseball tailgate this season? And to that I say, heck yeah, we need to figure that out.
Yeah, how do we sign up for that?
Yeah,
Maybe isn't there a date? There's got to be some dates on there where there's basketball and baseball, right?
man. What if you could like go to like one, then you tailgate in between before the next one? Like that'd be kind of amazing if the time.
I'm sure that there's some overlapping games, and Jason would be the one to know that because I know he goes to the baseball and the basketball games pretty regularly.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been to a Georgia baseball game. I'll say that. So maybe this is a good time to change that.
Yeah, I'm
Been
down.
been
I'm down,
been to
Jason.
I've been to a basketball game this season, so wouldn't mind going to another one. Yes, I'm in. Yeah. Where do we sign up? Let us know.
Yes, exactly.
Uh and then he just said my very best to you both. So same to you, Jason. Uh much appreciate you and the entire Huggins family. You guys have been very, very kind to us. So much appreciated.
Agreed.
Um, I did want to say, shout out to Coach Trill, always for doing coaches over unders and tracking all that throughout the season. But I wanted to call out that his beloved New England Patriots have made it to the Super Bowl. Um, I know he was thrilled to see them make it through the swirling winds in Denver this past weekend in the AFC Championship game. So congrats to you, uh, Coach Trill, and best of luck in the Super Bowl. And by the way, the Patriots have the only active Georgia player uh, that will be playing in this game. So that kept
Active
our
being the key word.
active, yeah, because Kenny McIntosh is on the Seahawks, but he is on injured reserve.
Because either way, there's going to be a Bulldog Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, yeah, correct. I think it's whatever the streak is. I think it's what 25 years or something. There's been a Georgia player, at least one in the
Well,
Super
so
Bowl.
it's 25 years straight that we've had a player, former player in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
But we're guaranteed to have another Super Bowl champion Bulldog. Kenny McIntosh is on the injured reserve for the Seahawks,
yeah.
and you've got
It's
who is it on the
Jared Wilson.
Jared Wilson? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. He's like the starting left guard for the
Yeah.
Patriots as a rookie. So pretty impressive.
That Patriots Georgia offensive lineman.
Yeah, seriously.
David Andrews, and you got David Andrews did it before. He was the center.
Yep, yep. And the Seahawks head coach is a Georgia grad, by the way. So
That's right, Mike McDonald.
and he's from my
Which
neck of the
I
woods.
was I didn't realize that he was so Georgia. Like he showed up on my suggested friends list today on Facebook.
I mean, he must have grown up like right where I live. Like he went to Centennial High School. Like that was like right behind my house. Like it didn't exist when I was in high school because I'm old, or it actually opened my senior year. But so yeah, I mean, they must have grown up right around the. I mean, he's younger, but right around the corner.
Yeah.
All
Crazy
right,
what
well,
the Falcons could have had.
uh, we can't. I can't. I can't with him.
They passed him up. They passed him up and hired Raheem Morris.
Yeah. Well, now Matt Ryan's gonna fix everything, so it'll be fine.
Matt Ryan's gonna fix everything. Sure.
uh, well, John, another college football season, another My God a podcast season in the books.
In the books. It was fun. Um, we'll see you guys again for G Day, but I know that we'll probably meet again at some point in the not too distant future, perhaps to regale everyone in a baseball tailgate that Jason
Amazing.
Huggins is going to let us know about.
100%.
But yeah, with that said, we'll put the gavel down on 2026 and or the 2025 season. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.